Okay, Narendra Modi is coming out to speak to journalists. This is the first time we'll be hearing from India's new Prime Minister. Let's listen to what the man of the match, the man of the moment, the man India voted to power.
He's not going to talk.
What does he have to say? Oh, he's not going to talk. He just walked straight out, did he? With his hands folded, did he? I think he hasn't spoken to journalists there. But those were images of him emerging. And he hasn't spoken yet. He will speak, make no mistake about that. But this was not his moment. He'll choose a moment and he'll speak when he thinks that moment is right.
But you know, I think, Rahul, the thing to look out for is what he says when he first speaks. Not necessarily now or in the next 24 hours, but when he first speaks as Prime Minister. Because this is a man who has prepared for that ascension for months. He's planned what he's going to do. He clearly has announcements up his sleeve. And I personally have a hunch that there will be something big and dramatic that he'll say to set the tone and tenor. Maybe it will be about reassurance to the minorities. Maybe it will be something to do with economic policy and spurt of growth. Maybe it will be in some other dimension. But clearly he's worked out the message he wants to communicate, not just on the first day, but perhaps over the first 100 days. And he will follow that because he knows that the opportunity he's got now must be built on to create the momentum. If he doesn't, it can actually slip and slide out of his hands.
This is a bit of a security risk. I see all the Gujarat police personnel are recognized from the Modi rallies. I don't see the SPG just coming in yet. What's the protocol, Javed? By when will the SPG take over? I was told they're already there at the BJP headquarters waiting to take over, but shouldn't they be taking charge?
No, I don't think they can take over the BJP headquarters. They ought to have taken over his security because he's now Prime Minister designate. And it shoots on.
See, the law. Let me explain the law.
Look, I can tell you from experience, when Manmohan Singh, the moment his name was announced, he held a press conference the next morning. I happened to cover it, and I know that the SPG had taken cover. They may not take over as they would when he becomes Prime Minister, but they had already moved in and they were in place.
Okay, Veer Sanghvi, will we see a new Narendra Modi, a new improved, softer, gentler, kinder, more humane Narendra Modi?
Well, there's two sides to Narendra Modi. One is the man who knows what he wants and does it and is not by nature a consensual leader. I imagine it's probably too late for him to change that. But there's another Narendra Modi. Sudhanshu used the term the outsider. He's fought this like a battle as an outsider who's seeking to storm the Delhi Sultanate, to use his phrase. Therefore, there's been a lot of hostility, a lot of hatred, a lot of bitterness. I'm hoping that once he gets into office, when he's won, he'll realize he doesn't need any of that. I remember something Rajiv Gandhi once told me when he was out of power. He said, one of the mistakes I made in 1984 is I kept saying, these are my people, these are not my people. He said, it took me 2 years to realize I'm Prime Minister of India, they're all my people. I'm hoping that Modi gets that realization sooner rather than later. If he does, then some of the hostility, the bitterness that has accompanied his rise to power will be healed.
Rahul, one second, just please.
Okay.
You know, there are two sides to this story. One is no political leader. I've been a political journalist for 30 or 40 years. No political leader in my memory has been more demonized than Narendra Modi. So the hostility and the bitterness comes from the fact...
Amrinder Singh is speaking at this time after having defeated